Dead Space 2023 is one of the best remakes ever made. Period. It was the second best-selling game in January 2023, received critical acclaim across every outlet, has an 89 Metacritic score, and yet EA publicly stated it failed to meet their sales expectations. That's genuinely fascinating. A game that critics universally praised and players adored didn't sell enough copies for the publisher to be satisfied. 3 years later, in 2026, sitting here with perspective, it's clear that Dead Space is a masterclass in respecting the source material while modernizing it for new hardware. The Frostbite engine, volumetric lighting, dismemberment physics, strategic combat, it all comes together to create something genuinely special. Today, I'm breaking down why Dead Space's failure is actually proof that quality doesn't guarantee commercial success, and why this game matters regardless.
Isaac Clarke is an everyman engineer sent on a rescue mission to the USG Ishimura, a massive mining starship that's gone radio silent. The ship's crew has been slaughtered by creatures called necromorphs, dead bodies animated and weaponized by an alien virus. Isaac's personal motivation is that his girlfriend, Nicole, is lost somewhere on the ship. What's immediately interesting about the remake is that Isaac is voiced this time. In the original 2008 game, Isaac was completely silent. Here, Gunnar Wright, who voiced Isaac in Dead Space 2 and 3, gives the character a personality. Isaac comments on his surroundings, reacts to situations, struggles internally with what he's experiencing. This grounds the game emotionally in a way the original couldn't. The narrative has been expanded and rewritten. The story beats remain recognizable, but new dialogue, character interactions, and plot elements have been added. The ending is altered somewhat, with additional scenes that provide more closure. Without spoiling specifics, the game respects what the original established, while deepening character arcs. Dr. Nicole Brennan evolves from a mostly absent character into someone with genuine presence and complexity. The crew of the Ishimura gets more development. Even antagonists like Kendra Daniels have more nuance. The 15-year gap between games allowed the writers to rethink narrative structure, and they used that opportunity effectively. The psychological horror elements are amplified. Isaac's mental deterioration as he confronts unimaginable horrors isn't just background flavor, it's actively integrated into cutscenes and dialogue. He's traumatized and increasingly desperate. By endgame, you genuinely feel the toll this journey has taken on him.
Dead Space's core gameplay is strategic dismemberment. You don't just shoot necromorphs, you dismember them. The plasma cutter, Isaac's iconic weapon, fires horizontal blades perfect for severing limbs. Other tools like the Ripper saw through flesh, the force gun launches bodies, the flamethrower cauterizes tissue. Every weapon serves a strategic purpose against specific enemy types. This approach fundamentally changes combat from traditional shooter mechanics. You're not aiming for the head, you're planning which limbs to remove to neutralize threats efficiently. A slasher necromorph with blade arms is dangerous, but if you remove its arms, it's toothless. A spitter vomits acid, so removing its jaw is priority. The game teaches you to think tactically rather than reactively. The remake improves upon the original by refining the system. Weapon feedback is clearer, dismemberment animations are visceral and satisfying. The visual clarity makes it obvious which limbs you've removed and which remain dangerous. The game respects player agency. You decide how to approach each encounter rather than being railroaded into specific tactics. The zero-G sequences, areas where gravity is suspended, have been fundamentally redesigned. In the original, you were confined to narrow paths. In the remake, you can move freely in 3 dimensions, approaching puzzles and enemies from creative angles. This transforms zero-G from a tedious section into a genuinely interesting gameplay variant. The puzzle design is solid. Environmental hazards need to be exploited. Systems need to be repaired. Doors need to be opened. These puzzles integrate naturally into the survival experience rather than feeling like interruptions. Isaac's engineering background provides narrative justification for why he's solving technical problems.
Dead Space was rebuilt in the Frostbite engine specifically for next-generation hardware. The visual results are impressive. Volumetric lighting creates atmospheric corridors where light literally penetrates fog and dust. The USG Ishimura feels massive, industrial, oppressive. Character models are detailed. Necromorph designs are genuinely horrifying. Their twisted forms convey the violation of the original concept. The art direction deserves significant credit. The ship's design is functional and believable as a mining vessel. Corridors feel lived-in. Environmental storytelling through scattered personal effects, blood trails, and system malfunctions creates a rich atmosphere without requiring exposition. When you see a child's toy in a crew quarters, it hits differently than dialogue explaining tragedy. Audio design is phenomenal. Trevor Gurekis' score pulses ominously without overwhelming. Environmental sounds, ships groaning, metal creaking, electronic hums create constant tension. Necromorph vocalizations are disturbing. Isaac's breathing during stressful moments grounds you in his perspective. 3D audio on PS5 and Xbox Series X makes surround sound integral to the experience. Technically, performance is solid but not flawless. The PS5 version runs at 60 FPS with high fidelity. The PC version offers more flexibility, but suffered from some stuttering issues at launch. Frostbite's reputation for optimization challenges manifested as occasional hitches in demanding scenes. By 2026, patches have improved stability, but it's not a flawlessly optimized port. The Frostbite engine choice was deliberate. EA owns the technology and wanted to leverage their investment. The engine allowed for the seamless level design and impressive visual fidelity. However, it meant rebuilding core systems from scratch, which added development complexity.
What works exceptionally? The core gameplay loop is engaging. The atmosphere is genuinely oppressive. The visuals are impressive. The sound design enhances every moment. The story respects the original while improving it. Isaac feels like a character rather than an avatar. The remake succeeds in its core mission. What doesn't work as well, some boss fights feel artificially extended. A few encounters that worked in the original drag in the remake due to increased difficulty. The tonal balance occasionally falters. Some dramatic moments are slightly overplayed. A few new story additions don't land as effectively as the original material. These are minor quibbles in an otherwise excellent package. The most significant issue, EA sales expectations were commercial rather than creative. The game sold well, very well, but not well enough to justify whatever internal projections EA had established. This disconnect between critical and commercial success, from EA's perspective, means the franchise is uncertain. There's been no announcement of a Dead Space 2 remake. Post-launch support has been minimal. The absence of microtransactions is genuinely commendable. This is a complete package. No cosmetics locked behind paywalls, no battle passes, no time-limited content. You pay once and receive the complete experience. That's refreshing from EA, which makes a reported failure somewhat ironic. The company did everything right and still didn't meet internal expectations.
Is Dead Space 2023 worth playing in 2026? Absolutely, without hesitation. If you love survival horror, sci-fi atmosphere, or simply well-crafted game design, Dead Space is essential. The game costs £30–50 regularly, often on sale for less. You're getting 12–15 hours of meticulously crafted horror. That's exceptional value. There's no multiplayer, no seasonal content, no post-game grinds. It's a singular, complete experience. If you want a story-driven horror game, Dead Space delivers. The caveats are minor. If you desperately need constant post-launch support and seasonal updates, you'll be disappointed. EA abandoned the franchise shortly after release. The horror relies on atmosphere more than jump scares, which might not satisfy players seeking constant adrenaline. The difficulty is moderate. Challenging, but not punishing. In 2026, Dead Space stands as proof that a truly great remake can be made. Motive Studios showed respect for the source material while leveraging modern technology. The game is beautiful, atmospheric, engaging, and mechanically sound. It's everything a remake should be.
The tragedy is that it failed commercially from EA's perspective. A game this well designed, this critically acclaimed, this respectful to its legacy, couldn't meet profit projections. That says more about corporate expectations than game quality. Dead Space 2023 is genuinely excellent, regardless of what some spreadsheet at EA said. Thanks for watching. If you've played Dead Space, let me know in the comments which necromorph design disturbed you most. Mine will forever be the Infector. That image is burned into my brain. Like this video if you appreciate remakes that respect their source material. Subscribe for more deep dives into overlooked gems, and I'll see you next time.